If you're looking for a light strip that supports Matter, then the new Aqara T1 light strip might just be the perfect light strip for your Apple smart home. It's Aqara's first light strip for wide global markets, including Europe and North America. Now, Aqara did send me out their new light strip for an honest, unbiased review, and I've been using it for some time now, and wow. I'm surprised Aqara was able to pack so many features into this light strip at a very affordable price of $50. And you can get this light strip for even less by using the promo code down in the description of this video right below that like button. In this video, we'll get this light strip unboxed and look at some issues that I had with installation, along with the many features that this light strip has, like the ability to paint multiple colors on the light strip at one time, what the Apple Home experience is like, and if I would recommend adding this light strip to your Apple smart home. Looking at the box, we see the Matter logo right here, and opening up the box, you get almost everything that you would expect to get with a light strip. First, we have the manual. Next, we have the controller, which is rated for indoor use only, and there's physical buttons on the controller for controlling the power, changing the light mode, and a music mode with a microphone on the side. As you'll notice, there's no adhesive backing for the controller included, which is something that other brands include. This became a big issue for me when I was installing this light strip. More on that later. Next, you have the power cord with international and US plugs, and finally, we have the light strip itself here. It's 6.5 feet, which is about 2 meters. It's extendable using an extension kit that is sold separately and also linked in the description of this video. And the light strip can be extended up to 10 meters, which is approximately 33 feet. The light strip is also cuttable on the areas marked with a scissored label, and it is reattachable. The Aqara T1 light strip connects via Zigbee to a required Aqara hub and also supports the newer smart home standard Matter, which allows this light strip to work with all major smart home platforms, including Amazon, Google, and Apple HomeKit. You can use any of Aqara's hubs, and each of the Aqara hubs offer different features. Like some have a smart light built in, some are a camera, and an alarm. I personally use the Smart M2 hub for the Ethernet connection, but any Aqara hub will work. Your hub will also need to be running the latest Matter firmware update if you want to use this smart light strip with other smart platforms like Apple HomeKit, as this light strip will not work without an Aqara hub. Not only does this light strip support Zigbee, but it's also a Zigbee 3.0 repeater, meaning it can extend the Zigbee signal to other Aqara devices. So if you have other Aqara devices like a contact sensor on a back door and a water leak sensor in your kitchen, then the repeater function can help extend the Zigbee signal to other Aqara devices to create a stronger connection. Now, setting up the Aqara Lightstrip to the Aqara app went fairly smooth. I did have a couple of bugs though. You connect the Lightstrip to the Aqara hub by pressing and holding the power button for a few seconds, and it took me a few tries to actually get this to work. I had some weird Chinese wording at first, and the Lightstrip did not show up in the Aqara app. I had to factory reset the Lightstrip a few times to finally get it to connect to the Aqara app. Since this is a new product, I would assume that a lot of these issues will be fixed over time. After I got this Lightstrip set up, it was time to install it. And this is where a big issue came into play. Overall, it went well, but I had one minor issue. So the Aqara Lightstrip has strong 3M adhesive tape, and I was able to install this with no problem. Until I got to the very end, and this is where I experienced an issue. I was reminded that the controller does not have adhesive on the back, and is not included in the box. So you have to find some way or buy additional pieces to mount this where you want it to, which I did not like. I ended up using command strips and cut them in a single strip, but then realized the controller would wobble on each side. So I used 3 small strips to secure it and was able to attach the controller to my bed frame. Then I realized the controller is upside down when you mount it this way. So I was kind of confused here, but I just accepted it, and now I can control the power, the color, and such while I'm in the bed. I'll leave a link to the command hooks that I use down in the description of this video. I was honestly surprised to see that Aqara does not include an adhesive for the controller unit, whereas other light strips that cost less, like Onvis, do include an adhesive for the controller unit. Thankfully, this is really my only gripe with this light strip. The Aqara app is what you use to control this light strip and have access to all the many features. When you open the Aqara app, it can take a couple seconds to load the light strip. Here you have controls for power on and off, and the light strip will fade on and off, which I really like, but it can take a bit of time to update the status in the Aqara app. Next you have controls for the brightness, and the light strip is 600 lumens and gets pretty bright at 100%. Then you have tabs for controlling the light strip actions. First, you have these preset color effects like rainbow, sea of flowers, exciting, and morning. Or you can create your own effect either by copying an existing one and adjusting settings like the color or the brightness, or you can create your own, which we'll look at here in a minute. Next you have the color palettes, and this light strip can support up to 16 million colors. So here's how the red looks, here's how the green looks, here's how the blue looks. Colors are bright and vivid. Then you have the RGB spectrum, which is where you can really get granular with your colors. You can go side to side, up or down, and it even shows you the hex color codes. But you're not able to type in your own color code, so that's a bummer. And finally, you have the tunable white. You're able to adjust the whiteness to be a cooler or a warmer temperature, and you can only adjust it from side to side. And the range is from 2700 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. Now, what really makes this light strip special is that it uses RGBIC technology, which basically means that you can have multiple colors on this light strip at one time. You can either choose a static effect, which is just the light strip showing a light and no movement, or a dynamic effect, where lights can move around on the light strip. Let's break these two down. So starting with a static effect. Here you have the light strip layout here, and you can use a preset combination of colors, or you can create your own layout very easily. You can view by each section or by meters. There's 10 color zones available to paint per 2 meters, so if you get an extension, then you can get up to 10 meters or 50 color zones. Next, you can choose the color type, and you can select the different parts of the light strip that you want to be that color, or you can drag your finger across the light strip. This process is very easy and smooth, and the colors update live on the light strip, which is great to see. The brightness can also be adjusted as well, though this will adjust the brightness of the entire light strip and not individual zones. Whereas with the new Govee light strip, you're able to adjust the brightness of each zone, which could be a feature that you need. Once you have the light strip that you want it to be, just give this effect a name and hit save, and now this effect will appear in your effects tab. Next, there are dynamic effects, and these are really fun to use. You'll first start off by choosing which zone has this effect, and here you can adjust the colors or add and remove a certain amount of colors, change the brightness, the sync effect, and the speed for either the whole light strip or only parts of it. Some fun effects are breathing, jumping, and flash. Now, what's really cool is that you can actually save these paintings or effects and sync them to the Apple Home app and then use them in your HomeKey automations or scenes. And here's how you do that. First, create either a static or a dynamic scene or the effect that you want. I'll use this one that I created earlier called Cool Colors. Then go back and tap the scene button at the bottom. Tap the plus button on the top right. Then under the add action, choose add. Choose the light strip, and here you can create a new scene for things like the brightness, the color, preset static or dynamic effects. For me, it's a static effect, and here you can see the one that I made here. Then tap OK and save. Next, give this scene a name and choose the icon if you want, though the icon will not sync to the Apple Home app. And here you can see a list of all of your scenes, and you can add them to Siri as a Siri shortcut with the Siri icon here, or add them to the Home app by tapping Edit, then choosing your scene, and tap the button on the bottom where it says Add to Apple Home, and then choose your Aqara Hub. Then it will add the scene to HomeKit and display a message. Currently the message is in Chinese, so I don't know what this means, but I'm pretty sure it's good. Now if we go into the Apple Home app, we can now see our new multicolor scene. Tap on it, the light strip will change colors. Though if you try to edit the scene, the Home app shows nothing is in the scene. So that's kind of weird. Anyways, you're able to use the scene in your automations or by telling Siri to run your scene. We'll look at some fun automation ideas that you can do with this light strip later on in the video. There's also a music mode that will display various effects based on the beat of a song, and you can choose the effect and the sensitivity. And finally, there's settings for power off memory, which is great if the power goes off in the middle of the night. If the light strip was off, then it will be off when the power comes back on, instead of blinding you with a bright white light. You're also able to adjust the transition settings, the dimming range, and the length of the light strip after cutting or extending the light strip. Overall, the Aqara app is quite easy to use and works well. What I also found to work well was the Aqara Lightstrip in the Apple Home app. Now again, if you do want to use the Aqara Lightstrip in the Apple Home app, then an Aqara hub is required that is running the Matter firmware update, as this light strip will not work without an Aqara hub. And Matter allows this light strip to work with all major smart home platforms, including Amazon, Google, and Apple Home. Being this is a Apple Home focused channel, we'll just be looking at the features that you can do in the Apple Home app. So what features do you get and what features do you not get? Well, let's first start off with the features that you do get. So here in the Apple Home app, you have the tile for controlling the power on and off, and it's very fast to respond, and it's so smooth turning on and off. Next, you have the ability to control the brightness. And as you'll notice, there is a little sun icon here with different white hues. This is called adaptive lighting that will automatically adjust the white temperature of lights throughout the day so that your lights match daylight and make it easier on your eyes. Unfortunately, Apple does not allow you to adjust the brightness, the white temperature, or the time of day that the white temperature will change. You may not like the temperature of white that Apple chooses for you. It could be too cool or too warm or even too bright at night. So some people, including myself, do not use this feature because you're really not able to customize anything to your own liking. But you can easily recreate this manually with any brand of HomeKit light or light strip just by using scheduled scenes. This way you can choose the brightness, the temperature you prefer, and the time of day. So back in the Apple Home app, you're able to adjust the colors and the white hue. You can tap to choose one of your most recent colors or use the color or white hue palette to change the color or the white temperature. Now because this light strip works with Apple Home, this means that you're able to tell Siri to turn this light strip on and off, adjust the brightness, and change the colors. And as you can see, the light is responding extremely fast to my commands. It's insane. I've never used a light strip that responds this fast before, and that's mainly due to the Zigbee connection. Now, I want to be crystal clear here in saying that Aqara is not paying me to say anything good or anything bad about this light strip. I'm at liberty to say my honest thoughts, whether it's good or bad. And this is my honest experience with the Aqara T1 light strip. Speaking of experience, there's a few things that you're not going to be able to experience in the Apple Home app, like the ability to paint multiple colors on the light strip at once or access to specific effects. You can create your own scene or effect and sync it to the Apple Home app, but if you wanted to make changes or create new effects, then you'll have to do this in the Aqara app. Now, the ability to paint multiple colors on the light strip at once is not a feature that is supported by Apple. So this goes for all brands that have addressable light strips, including TP-Link, Onvis, and Aqara. When it comes to creating automations with this light strip in your Apple smart home, there is a bountiful amount of automation ideas that you can do with this light strip, especially if you use other Aqara devices. So for example, with an Aqara hub that has a built-in security system, you can use this light strip to show the status. So if the system is armed, then the light strip could be green, and then it could be red if it's tripped. Another idea is if someone is detected at a front door using an Aqara doorbell, then the light strip could flash red. And speaking of flashing, you can use an Aqara water leak sensor and have the light strip flash blue whenever a leak has been detected, and play a sound on an Aqara hub for a visual indicator. Overall, the Aqara T1 light strip is an excellent option for a Matter light strip that works with Apple HomeKit. For $50, I'd say it's the best value for a HomeKit light strip for all the features that you're getting, like the ability to paint multiple colors that are accurate and bright. The light strip uses Zigbee, so it's going to be fast to respond, and it's a Zigbee repeater for other Aqara child devices, and it works very well in HomeKit. There's really only two cons that I have with this light strip. One is that there's no adhesive for the controller, so you have to buy your own or find some way to mount it to whatever you're mounting it to. And two, the Aqara app can sometimes be slow to load to adjust any settings. I'll be making a big comparison video of Matter light strips, so if you want to see how Aqara stacks up to other brands, then make sure to hit that subscribe button with notifications turned on. That's my thoughts on the new Aqara T1 light strip. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.